Welcome, Rangers fans, to our Midweek Coaches Show. As we do each week, we recap the previous week in Ranger athletics and look ahead to what's upcoming in the coming week. And we've gone a week or so without talking football, coming off of an open week. When we play this Friday, it'll actually be 15 days between games. Our last game was a Thursday home game against Canyon, and I guess that's where we'll start. It was a big district ball game. Both teams coming in highly ranked, number 1 versus number 2, at least in the local polls. And Canyon was undefeated, and the Rangers had a 3-1 record. And we had a rare Thursday night game here at Ranger Stadium, and we were able to be successful. We got off to a great start defensively and offensively, and ended up winning the game 35-0, which was big. A highly thought of, highly regarded opponent is one thing to win on that, and then a chance to win another district game and go 2-0 and feeling good about things going into the break. So we were ecstatic to get the win. I think most people, myself included, were surprised at the margin. Not sure that could happen again if we did it again, but we don't have to do it again, at least not for 12 months. So Coach Westford, let's talk about our defense first. 35-0. I think Canyon was averaging 45 points a game coming in. So did we think we were going to shut them out?
No, sir. Neither is a possibility, because I always believe in our kids.
Sure.
But no, as explosive as they had been, and
Right.
as much as they had scored on everybody they had played, to think that we would go in there and just shut them out and be a little bit of high hopes, I think.
Right. Well, what do you think the keys to that were? We obviously played well.
And I think, it starts up front. Our D-line, I thought, did a great job of putting pressure on the quarterback. Had a linebacker, Gavin Woods, in a spy position and blitzed him some, and we were able to get a little pressure on the quarterback, make him a little uncomfortable, which hadn't been done to him too much throughout the year. And then our secondary did a really nice job of covering people. And we talked all week, they've been so explosive that, trying to eliminate or reduce their explosives. They're going to complete some passes, make them complete them up in front, and then let's make sure we tackle well. And I thought our kids did an excellent job of doing those things.
Right. And then we get, of course, the one turnover on a strip sack when they were down on our end of the field, not quite in the red zone yet. So, just a tremendous performance. And you're right, they'd been so explosive against everyone, so not reliant necessarily, because they had shown the ability to both drive the ball and be explosive and score from way out. But there's no question that was a big part of their game. And kudos to our defensive players and our coaches on that side of the ball. And I thought our defense was helped as well by our offensive performance.
Well, absolutely. Our offense does a great job of holding the ball and reducing the number of possessions the other team gets, and that always plays a huge role. And that's a really great thing about coaching defense here, because we have such a explosive when it needs to be, but we can be ball control as well offensively, and run the ball and shorten the game, run the clock, and that really helps defensively.
Well, Coach Hill, let's turn to the offensive side. 35-0 win, 35-0 at the half. Scored on 5 straight possessions to open the game. And tell us a little bit what the offense did well.
Yeah, no doubt it was a hot start, and much like Coach Worsford said, it all starts up front. I thought our O-line played great. Chase Sinelick, our quarterback, started the game 15 of 16 passing the football, and you can't do that without a lot of time. And he was able to stay back there and stay off the ground, and credit to our offensive line for doing that. Able to spread it out a little bit as well. We had 13 guys get touches, either a catch or a run in that game. We've talked about the 3-headed monster at running back with Sowersby and DeHoyos and Doug Lance, and all 3 of those guys were able to get into the mix, average a little more than 6 yards a carry, and just kind of get our footing in the run game, which opened up that 15 of 16 passing. I don't think that's possible without running the football.
And of course, TJ Hunt continues to be explosive. Got up the field again. His first catch was kind of a deep slant that he caught on the dead fly and took it to the house.
Yeah, TJ, he's an explosive player, and that's been proven over and over all year, so I don't know if anybody's surprised anymore by that. But 3 touchdowns, he had a hat trick, about 170 yards receiving, and he's just doing it again. He's all reliable. He's going to catch the football that's up in the air, and that's what a quarterback loves.
Well, and then a 35-0 lead, as we mentioned, and I remember the coaches talking at halftime. It's a 5-possession game. One of the things we need to do is stop them, and then we need to make sure they don't get 5 possessions. And I thought we did a nice job of controlling the ball in the second half. Really, we don't fumble going in on the 1 yard line going in. We have a chance to make it 42-0, but we accomplished what we wanted. We kept the ball from them and got a big district win. And now we're 2-0 in district, along with 2 other teams who we've yet to play. There's still some big trains coming down the track, and including Layman, our next opponent. After a 2-week gap coming off the open week, we'll play the Layman Lobos in our homecoming game this Friday. We'll talk about that in a few moments, but before we do, we'll turn it over to Coach Melissa Miller, our head volleyball and athletic coordinator here at Smithson Valley, and she's going to recap the week in our other activities in the previous week here at Smithson Valley. So take it away, Coach Miller.
Thanks, Coach. We've had a lot of great things going on this week here in the Valley. We're excited to talk to you about it. Starting with cross country. This past week, they headed to Dallas for the Dallas Jesuit Invitational. It's a huge invitational filled with a bunch of the top state-ranked teams all the way up to 6A. Our girls were able to bring home 3rd place, and that's resting our number 2 runner. So Coach Hall was really impressed with the determination and the drive that they showed, the grit, their improvement throughout the season. He's also really impressed with the boys. They had a great showing against some state-ranked teams too. They take this week off, rest a little bit before they head into their district race next week. So next Thursday, October 13th, will be our cross-country district meet. And we'll have more information about that next week, what times our runners run. But if you have some time on Thursday, I know they'd appreciate us out there cheering them on. They've worked hard all summer. I mean, those kids are up here every single morning working hard. So the more people we can get out there to help them in their district meet, the better. Moving into water polo. Water polo finished their regular season last night. Girls and boys both played Davenport. The girls beat Davenport and the boys lost. However, district season is over and both of our teams, boys and girls, have advanced to the postseason. So in our first season hosting a water polo team, both teams make it into playoffs. Boys have finished in 4th place, so they will compete against Bernie Champion in the first round. The first round will be next Monday or Tuesday. We've got some flipping to do today, so all of that information will be out shortly about where and when. And then our girls team is actually in a tie with Canyon for 3rd, so we will have a playoff with Canyon at some point, and then following that, we'll have the information on their first round matchup for playoffs. So look for that information coming out. We hope to get it out to you in the next day or 2, but huge congratulations to our water polo coaches and players to have our very first season and be able to make it into the postseason. We're so proud of them. We wish them nothing but luck. Also, speaking of postseason, tennis has finished up both their district and their non-district schedule. Next thing on the docket for them is bi-district playoffs. So you can find them next Monday and Tuesday in bi-district round of tennis playoffs. We will have exact times and stuff for you. We'll put it out on social media as soon as we receive it. But congratulations to Coach Lawan, Coach Albright, all of our tennis team for successfully making it to the bi-district round of play. And now on to volleyball. We hosted the Seguin Matadors last Friday. All 4 teams were victorious, varsity, JV, and both freshman teams. And then last night we started round 2 of our district schedule and hosted the Piper Warriors here. Our freshman team brought home the sweep 2-0. JV lost a tough match in 3. And then our varsity team played really, really well last night, winning in 3 against Piper. We do want to give a huge shout out to everybody that came out last night. Huge student section, lots of fans, some alumni, some old players. It always creates a great environment in the gym, and I definitely think helps our kids get a little bit more adrenaline and energy when they play. So thank you to everybody that made it out. Next time you can catch us here is this Friday, our homecoming game. We play Veterans Memorial here at Smithson Valley. Times are a little bit different. So varsity is actually going to play first at 5. JV will follow them. Those will both be in the main gym. And then freshman A will start at 6 after varsity is completed in the back gym. And then freshman B will go after them. So varsity first, then JV and freshman A, and then freshman B will bring up the rear. As I said, we've started second round. We're looking to do as well, if not better, in the second round. So we'd love to see you guys out there. We also have a home game next Tuesday against Wagner. So if you can't come out this Friday for homecoming, we'd love to see you next Tuesday. But good luck to everybody this week in homecoming. It's a fun week with lots of themes going on. Friday, we'd love to see you out at the volleyball game at 5, and then we can all head over and watch football beat Layman. So congratulations to our tennis, water polo, cross country on their successful seasons moving into the postseason. Good luck to volleyball this week as we continue round 2, and good luck to you, Coach Hill, as you take on Layman this week.
Thanks, Coach Miller, and congrats to all of our athletes and coaches of those sports on those successes that we've had in the last week, and of course, good luck in this coming week as we continue to press forward in our seasons. And speaking of pressing forward, the Rangers are back at it this Friday. We're going to go back to a Friday game, get away from that Thursday. We're back at Ranger Stadium, though, back-to-back home games, and this Friday's game against Layman is our homecoming game, and more importantly, our third district ball game, a chance to go 3-0 and continue to put ourselves in position to be in the playoffs and have an opportunity to win the district championship. So Layman comes in 2-3, won their first 2 games of the year, have lost their last 3, including the 2 district openers that we've all played. And let's talk about them for a minute. What kind of challenges do they bring to our defense, Coach? What about Layman Lobo offense?
Well, the first thing that jumps off at you when you watch the tape is they're extremely well coached. The coaching staff does a great job of designing a system and plays that they execute very well. They've got a very solid running back. The quarterback's very good. A couple of really explosive receivers. They're very balanced.
Right.
They throw the ball as well as run the ball. We'll have to play good, responsibility-oriented football. We're going to have to have our A game on because they're so well coached over there.
They are, and they've shown the ability to win some 50-50 balls up
Yes,
the
sir.
field with their receivers, and that's always a concern because it is a 50-50 ball, and our players played well in those situations 2 weeks ago. We'll see about that this week. And defensively, Coach, they've shifted gears a little bit the last week or two with their defense, but what challenges does their defense pose to the Ranger offense?
Yeah, they've played a couple different fronts, and not just the mystery of that, but just kind of uncharted territory of the first few games of the season. Our kids have grown up playing those teams before, and Layman, that's part of the new district. We've never gone up against them. Coaches, players, fans, probably a little bit of a mystery, so that could be a factor. Talked about the 50-50 balls they're catching on offense, unfortunately. One of their best receivers is also in the secondary, so he's coming up with some of those 50-50 balls on the defensive side as well.
Yeah, they two-way some of their players much like we do. When you see David DeHoyos, Doug Lance, guys like that, Weston Ross, two-way in there. Layman's doing some of that as well, and so they are a very well-coached team. They need to get into the win column in district to position themselves to have a chance to run at the playoffs, and for us, it's just another opportunity to play and play well, and so we look forward to it. We're into October football now. The weather's cooling off a little bit. It's football weather, and we hope you'll get out into that football weather this Friday at Ranger Stadium for our homecoming game against Layman. If you can't make it in person, the games, as always, are broadcast live on the Rangers Network, and on the screen is how you can become a subscriber to the Rangers Network if you're not already. So watch us one way or the other, and we'll see you next time.